Hello everybody and welcome back to another Geek Out. It is the end of February, or pretty close to it, and it'll be even closer when this video comes out. So, we are trying a new format of video called What the What Are We Talking About This Week? Or WTWAWTW.
What the fuck?
Couple more W's and a couple more T's in there. What we are going to be talking about is some of the things that have taken place in February that we geek out about. A lot of things have taken place, and a lot of it is gaming related. This month and this last couple weeks have been massive as far as like gaming and game releases and stuff like that. So a good majority of it is going to be gaming, but we may spice it with some other things here and there.
Maybe a TV show.
Maybe a TV show. Maybe
I have a few things I want to talk about.
a new line of
Maybe.
purebred
Wow.
asparagus.
There's an ending. That didn't go.
Hello, everyone. I am your
hi.
host, Brogan.
I'm Max.
No.
All right, cool.
And I'm Gavin.
I'm kidding.
You got Brogan, Max, Gavin, and No.
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 Why?
So, we don't have a D4. That would be the nerdiest way
Next
possible
time
to
we'll get a
decide.
D4.
Well, there's the beauty of the
Wait,
internet.
what? Yeah, what?
Gavin 1,
Dice
Kimmy
roll.
2, Max 3, I 4.
Who's
I.
Wow.
Guys, ready? Here we go.
I
Drum
really
roll.
don't want to be.
What? It's a 1.
One.
Oh, I knew it.
All right, Gavin.
Alright.
On a D4.
Well, I just want to talk to you guys about Apex Legends. Came out, new free battle royale, and it's been decking the charts.
Apex Legends
It has.
is the.
It takes place in a Titanfall universe, and I
Titanfall,
love that
yeah.
universe.
Okay.
Entertainment, Respawn Entertainment, they did a really good job with it. The first 24 hours had 2.5 million players.
Jesus.
By the second day, it
Christ.
beat Fortnite.
I
did.
think people, if I'm honest, I think people were genuinely just sick of playing Fortnite with a bunch of 12-year-olds. And as soon as like a nice free-to-play alternative came out, people were like, "Oh hell yeah!"
I would agree.
But everybody migrated.
Here's
Did the
problem.
12-year-olds migrate?
No, I have played
I've played-
Apex Legends, and I have yet to play Apex Legends with an obnoxious 12-year-old.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah, they're
It's
all
probably because they all tried Apex Legends, got their asses handed to them, and was like, I'm going back to Fortnite.
They're like,
Where I
dude,
can
I've
build
been
my
hitting this rock
walls."
for 20 minutes and I'm getting no resources.
Oh my gosh.
But, yeah. So I think they're doing a fantastic job. The only thing that's concerning people is that EA has some ties to it.
Okay, here's the thing, right?
Yeah.
Here's the thing, right? Respawn came out and said, listen, we talked to EA. We understand, because Respawn, the people that are part of that company, came from EA. They quit EA.
No, they didn't.
Yeah, they did.
They got abducted. That's
No.
They essentially got abducted. by EA.
Before Respawn existed, they were
Uh-huh.
employees for EA to make Battlefield. And then they were like, screw this,
Okay,
we're going to make a
okay.
competitor company. And they did. It was Respawn.
And then
they made
they
Titanfall
got
1.
so they got
Titanfall 2.
re-abducted.
Titanfall 1 didn't sell well, so they needed a publisher. So then they decided to cooperate
So
with
EA sneaks back
Oh my
in.
gosh.
They have a deal
That
with
sounds
EA.
about right.
No, they have a deal with EA that are like, listen, we don't like you. People don't like you. You're only going to publish. And that's it. And this is going to be the help. This is going to help out your investors see that you're still kind of successful because we know you're in the deep water right now.
Well,
Isn't the new
so-
president of Nintendo?
They're not like super in there. They're just
worked
named
at
there.
EA for like 8 years. The new Nintendo USA.
Oh, Bowser?
yeah.
I don't know. I haven't researched
I saw quite a few memes
Don't
about
worry,
that
we're going to
today.
be talking about plenty of EA things
So-
later on.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
and,
Just think about
Apex.
that
I
for a
love that game. I love that universe. I love the guns in that universe. It's just so
pretty
well done.
addicting. The only thing that I have to say is like, I mean, they don't have as many guns as like the other battle royales, as I feel, but I mean that's fine. All the guns are really well balanced and they're really fun to play. There's only one gun that if I see it, I know I'm gonna die in like 2 seconds. It's that stupid
is it?
shotgun pistol.
Yep.
The Mozambique?
Yeah,
Mozambique,
it's so
So bad.
A shotgun
And they just
pistol?
yes, and it contains only
It's pretty
3
broken.
bullets. Broken? It's not broken at all.
It's broken in
It
the sense
sounds
that it
broken.
don't work good.
Yeah, okay. It's
It's not broken as in like I pick it up and I win. It's like no.
As
It's,
in-
in
it's
this
not
sense, when I
worth
say
it.
it's broken,
Broken
I don't
as in
mean
it's-
it's like it's too good broken. I mean
I know.
it's broke.
Now here's
It doesn't.
It's still like useful if you drop in a hot zone and there's no other guns around. It's like
Oh,
at
it-
least I could try to get a kill, and sometimes you could actually survive.
yeah, I downed someone today with it, and that was a miracle. It was like
Wow.
It was
They
pretty,
delete their
it was pretty bad in the
Origin account.
Titanfall games as well.
Yeah,
So-
I remember when I played it, I was like,
You know, one thing I think that they did do really well with Apex Legends was that they announced nothing about it.
oh my
Oh,
god,
yeah.
it dropped overnight.
And then they were just like, surprise, new game.
24 hours before dropping, they were just like, here's the stream if you want to know what the game we're working on. And it was just like 2
literally.
seconds of teasers. And then like after that stream, they're like, oh yeah, it's called Apex Legends.
Mhm.
Download it now.
Yeah, it was like literally the first time I had
so
heard about
good.
the game, it was ready to play.
Yeah.
Like I heard about it, I'm like, oh, that's cool. Oh wait, you can play it right now.
Yeah.
And the reason I think that was a wise choice on their part is because of that negative publicity.
Oh,
If they had
yeah.
been like, oh, we're releasing a new battle royale Titanfall game, I guarantee people would have been watching that like hawks, and they would have been
Oh, yeah.
picking it apart.
That's true.
People
Where's
are
the Titans?
People are still
Like,
picking
doesn't
it
matter.
apart post-launch, of course, but I think it was really smart on their part to not say anything about it.
And it was
So good.
part of the mystery of it. It was just so fun. Just like, wait, a new game dropped
Yeah.
by Respawn.
That's how game launches used to be.
Yeah.
That's
Not
very
so
true.
much like day of, but it would be
But-
like, hey, we're releasing a new game in a month, and everyone's like,
Yeah.
whoa, what? Huh?
Well,
Okay,
yeah.
cool. Like
the furthest out you'd get is like E3 for that fall.
Yeah,
You know
exactly.
what I mean?
E3 used to be like, here's what's coming out holiday
This
season.
season.
now it's
Yeah.
like Kingdom Hearts 3 is coming
Coming
out
out.
in 12 years. Wow! I can't
Yeah.
wait.
Here's
Or
this
my
teaser
favorite
trailer
one.
for this game that's gonna be a next gen console launch.
Yeah.
My favorite one, Cyberpunk 2077, coming out when it's ready.
Whenever, sometime in the future.
You know, I
It's gonna be
respect
2077
that one
when it
though.
comes
I
out.
respect that one because they don't give you like it's coming out years from now. It's like, listen, it's still working. We're getting
Yeah,
it ready. Yeah. Apex, love it.
Yeah.
Want more of it.
One
Watch our
thing-
streams if you want to see more of it.
The thing that because like they have 2 operators or 2 legends right now that you can buy,
Mm-hmm.
which is okay. I've been grinding the game. It's not a bad grind to unlock them. Actually,
Mhm.
I thought it was gonna be a pain in the ass, but it's not bad. They're giving it free content, which is guns inside the game. So
Where
just
they
have
get
to-
you though is those cosmetics.
Yeah. Yeah.
But here's the thing.
Oh my gosh.
Here's the thing though, like the loot boxes, we played a match, and when I finally got working my computer, we played one match, and we got to 10th. We were the 10th team alive out of 20.
Mhm.
I leveled up twice, so I got 2 loot boxes from that one match. And it became like 1 to every 2 matches, I'd get a loot box for cosmetics, which gives you 3 cosmetics. There's so many cosmetics that you're going to like. Yeah.
Because you can get those materials.
Yeah, sometimes you get materials, but you still unlock cosmetics though.
I guess that's true.
And so it's just the grind, they did it very well where no matter what, you feel like you're making progress in every 1 to 2 games.
What worries me though, and I am like the biggest anti microtransactions person alive. What really, really concerns me is that it's EA, and you know that they're just waiting to like come in and I mean
They're not going to get a foothold in there though.
We
Respawn
are-
is like, no, you're not touching us.
I don't know. They're already slipping in freaking $20 skin microtransactions.
Oh my
$20 for a skin, and we're
Again,
not talking even about character skins. That's for a gun.
But it's
Okay,
still
but here's the thing, it's a
still
free-to-play
free-to-play
game, though.
game. Yeah.
They need something like that to make a
I
profit.
know.
and it's not a play to win. That's just a skin.
I understand
Yeah,
that.
it's
And
purely
that's
the
why-
Overwatch thing.
That's why I'm willing to play it,
Yeah.
right? And I'm willing to have a decent time with it.
The way that they're doing it is different than the other battle royale.
They are,
games. So
and I will give them
Fortnite,
props. I will give them
Blackout,
props.
PUBG, they have a system where you spend $10 for a certain amount of time,
Mhm.
and then from there you can unlock more skins. Whereas in this, you just get more skins by playing, or you can buy them
even like
in-game.
Rocket League does that.
So
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
So what this does is it makes it so that way it's not because like with Fortnite for example, the battle pass that you can buy, you start with one skin. The more you grind and the more you play, you can unlock more skins for that character.
Yeah.
So this one,
Yeah, typical.
yeah, it's not like the culture's not there. The culture
It's
of
not
like
invasive.
cosmetics isn't as bad.
Today there was a leak, not really a leak. They just want to be a leak. That the new Halo title is going to be a launch title for the new Xbox next gen console that
Okay.
they won't even be revealing till E3 2019.
And that's this
And
E3.
based off of our math, probably won't even
It's probably going to be
Come
next
onto the
year,
market
the year after.
for a year, maybe
2021 is
I
the
bet in
next
2021.
The thing that really just makes me angry is that the technology is exactly where it needs to be to make new games, and we don't need. I don't know. Our consoles are so incredibly powerful.
Well, it really depends.
You can't make more money that way, Kimmy.
I know.
But I mean, you got to think about it too. Like battle royales, like if we were playing on the 360, you would have never thought that you could have up to 100 players on a single server.
I mean, that's very true.
Oh my
but then,
gosh, no, you know what it is.
the other part that really pisses me off,
The new consoles are going to be compatible for VR.
that would be cool.
That's pretty
Because the Xbox not compatible for VR, the PS4 barely so, but not to keep up with other headsets. That's why they're new
So
consoles.
that would be cool. I will agree.
If they-
But I also don't want to wait that long for the next Halo because I want to see if it's going to be any good or if it's just going to be trash. And it's going to have role-playing elements. Role-playing.
They finally added the kiss button for Master Chief.
So here is my question. That it was a question
In a
I've
Halo
had
game.
since they showed the little teaser for Halo Infinite in the last year at E3. Is this supposed to be Halo 6?
It's supposed to be Halo 6.
Okay, so this is supposed to be the next game in the franchise. See, that's because it was like the way they
The
kind
art
of showed
style
it
is
off.
completely different.
Very
The-
different.
Like, everything is so different. And so I'd almost rather it be its own
And why wouldn't
game.
they just call it Halo Infinite 6 if it was supposed to be the next
Well,
one?
Halo
Because-
5
why
is
would
called
they
Halo
name-
Guardians.
Yeah, why
Because
would
it
they-
doesn't
Halo
involve
5.
Master Chief.
Colon.
Is it Halo 5?
It is Halo 5 Guardians.
Are you sure?
I
positive.
bet. Yeah, it is Halo 5 Guardians.
Guardians.
I bet just because it doesn't involve Master Chief, because the only other game
No.
I could think of.
Master Chief is the main part. At the very
No,
at
but,
the end of
but
the
here's the
trailer,
thing:
you see
shows
Master
Halo
Chief.
ODST and Halo Reach weren't about Master Chief, and those are also the only ones that don't have numbers, but are still part of the series. So Master Chief might be in it, but he might not be the main part. You're not playing as Master
Isn't it
Chief.
Halo?
Well, I will say
it's
Halo
Halo
ODST.
3 ODST. It is
Yeah, Halo 3
There's Halo
ODST.
3 ODST, and then there's
ODST
another
was
one,
supposed
right?
to be DLC content, but it was too big.
Too
So,
big,
they
so
took
they
That's
made
it.
it in the game.
so that's why it's still that's why it's viewed
But
as
people call it Halo ODST.
Halo,
But still
so
a
that is a
brilliant
really,
game.
yeah.
So that might be like
But-
Master Chief's not. You're not playing as Master Chief, but he's there.
I mean,
He's gonna.
that's
no, I
pretty
think
much
he's
what
there,
Halo
dude.
5 was. Like,
You play
you
as Master
played
Dude,
Master
okay,
Chief
Halo
like
5 was such.
30% of the time.
They were like, oh,
No,
dude, look
I
at this cool
liked
kid.
Halo
No,
5.
here's the big
Not
thing
even
that was a
noticed.
disappointment to Halo 5. But to me, is they're like, oh, here's Master Chief. He's going off somewhere, and it's going to be something cool.
We do.
And here's this
Yeah,
news
he's gotta
party,
find-
and you
yeah.
gotta hunt Master
Did
Chief
you
down
not
and bring
watch
him back.
the
No, I did.
the
I paid
series
super
for
attention.
Locke? Like,
Here's the thing, dude. Is I was so pumped to play as this new character.
Locke
And
is
you-
awesome.
And you play for him for like 5 minutes.
No, you don't. You play
as him
you
for,
play
like,
the
the whole
blue
game.
or yeah, you play as
No.
what is it?
So
Team
I-
Osiris.
I
You
actually-
play Osiris for like 70% of that game.
I was actually
and then there's
playing.
one mission where you're Arbiter.
Yes.
I was playing Halo 5 like a week or two ago, and literally, I think there's like 12 missions in Halo 5, and 3 of them are with Master Chief.
Exactly.
What the hell?
Yeah, like
Yeah.
you're so wrong.
Wait, were you playing with somebody?
No.
Because if you're playing
How
with
did you do
somebody,
that?
then you're not. The chances that you're actually going to be Master Chief are really low because you can play it as any person in the team.
Okay, well, what
I'm
I'm
already
saying
Master Chief.
is still.
But Spartan Locke is really cool. So is Arbiter. But I like Master Chief, and
Oh,
I don't
Master
know.
Chief. Everyone's all messed up about his new helmet.
Yeah. Well.
I do really like the world building that they did in Halo
Yes.
5, though.
Yes.
Exactly.
That was the one thing.
Holy shit!
I mean, it got all kinds of crap for like, not being true to like the history of the Halo series or whatever. But I honestly thought like the world that they built in that game made like that world that we're in more alive than any other game in the series.
yeah.
Like for sure. Like getting to go to San Helios where the
Yeah.
elites
No,
are
that
from
was
was
so
so
sick.
cool. It was like that kind
Exploring
of
the
world
whole
like
universe.
sci-fi world building
Yeah.
was like the thing that got me really stoked for Starfield.
Yeah.
I was like,
Oh, dude, Starfield.
because
Oh,
I
But
was
see,
like, they need to
Okay,
make.
so but now here's Halo Infinite. That's gonna be a flagship game for a launch title for a new console, and Starfield's being made on the same engine that they made Skyrim.
Okay, I do. wanna say-
wasn't it
remind
actually
me.
Fallout 76?
Don't remind me.
And Fallout 76 and Skyrim.
I do want to
That's
say.
how
I do
old
wanna
that engine
say
is.
That
So
I
why
don't
the
mind.
frick do they need a new console?
I don't mind Halo 5 being the flagship or whatever, because Halo has been so
mean,
tied
yeah, I
to
agree.
Xbox Like, wasn't Halo 3 the
Halo-
flagship? Or
No,
was it
Halo-
Or was it Halo?
Halo.
Which Halo was it? Was the flagship for the 360? Was it?
There wasn't one.
There
There
wasn't
wasn't
one,
one.
but with Halo,
Halo
3,
5
if you
was
pre-ordered
flagship, not- yeah,
like
Halo 5.
Breakout, you got the Halo 3 open
Halo-
beta.
Halo 5 had a special edition Xbox.
Yeah,
I own
exactly.
it.
It did, but Halo 5
Yeah.
came out 2 years after
yeah.
the Xbox.
And I do want to say
didn't.
this:
Yes, it
if you
did.
guys remember the Xbox
came
PlayStation
out late
Did it
4,
really?
2015.
the biggest
Promise.
thing for like one
Oh
of the
my
big
God.
parts of
Back from
Halo.
my
You
or
were back
Xbox
from your
was,
mission
hey,
when Halo 5 came out.
Correct.
we have Halo.
I mean, I
Yeah.
guess that makes sense with
I
the
mean,
timing
honestly,
in my
ever
head.
since Reach, I have not been able to say,
Dude.
hey, look, we still have Halo.
Halo Reach was the reason me and all my friends switched from PS3 to Xbox 360.
Yes,
so
October
good.
2015.
Oh, brilliant.
Such a
I
good
don't
game.
know.
So I don't mind it being the flagship for the new gen console. I do agree with you that it does not
It's
need to
always
be
been
on
the
next
game
gen.
that I've bought the next console for, so it makes sense. You know, I don't know.
We're just getting to the point in our technological advancements where they just need to make similar to like a PC, where you can just when they come out with a new better processor,
Then you can
you
switch it
can
out.
just swap it out instead of having to buy a new console every
But
like
except-
7 to
so
8 years.
I was doing some research for a class, and I was reading this article about the video game industry and the game development industry, and it's literally like it explained it perfectly. The video game revolves around this cycle of forced technological obsolescence. Like they have to come out with something new that isn't compatible with the last stuff in order to make more money.
Oh
So
yeah, absolutely.
it will
it
always
is.
be this
absolutely
way.
it is.
Because it's just blowing my mind right now because the technology doesn't need to grow anymore to make games that.
I mean, you could also
Like,
argue PCs,
you
the
know.
PC gaming industry does the same
Oh,
thing.
yeah.
My friend got a VR compatible ready PC and everything. It was like $700+. The new Resident Evil game that came out, he can't play it on full settings on anything. He
Oh
has
my
to put them
gosh.
all to meet him at least to play the game normally.
That's honestly why retro gaming is becoming so much more popular
yeah,
right now.
absolutely.
Because people are like, yeah, I'm just tired of this, you know? Like, I'm
Tired
just
of
going to
having
go
to
back
buy-
and play
There's
my
so
classic
much
games.
effort to
like,
play the new hot stuff that
Yeah.
it's like,
Yeah.
or I could just put this in and play the game I know
how
makes
many
me
years
happy.
has the Nintendo Switch been out now?
like 8.
3?
No, it's been 3.
8?
I
three.
just barely got one
Yeah.
this
Uh-huh.
Christmas,
Yep.
and I
Okay.
wanted one since day one.
Yeah.
That's how
Well, let's be honest. Nintendo is completely separate from PC, Xbox, and PlayStation.
They are and they
in
aren't.
some ways.
I feel like they're coming back.
Nintendo,
They're
making their way back.
Well,
Nintendo
no, I'm not
obviously
saying
has
that
to
they're
compete
wrong.
as a business with the other game industries, but they also like their way
They
of
have a-
competitiveness is not specifically like we're going to beat you, we're going to beat you. They're like we're going to do our own thing because we know this works and this is fun.
completely different audience.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. What
They're
I'm saying is
very,
they don't
very
have
family.
people that
Okay.
are. What I'm saying is like with PlayStation and Xbox, the E3, they're like, hey, we're bringing out a new console. Xbox like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
well guess what we're doing?
Right.
New console, bang. And PC's over here like, we can run all those games all the time.
PC's just like,
Just-
what up?
Just spend more money.
PC's like welcome,
And
we're
then-
already on the
but
next
here's
step.
Here's the thing: is Nintendo is like 2 years later. They're like, so we have a Switch, and everyone's like, oh okay, and everyone loves the Switch. Like, they,
I don't
yeah,
know.
exactly.
There
I
is-
just like Nintendo.
I
do
will-
enjoy
Yeah, I
it.
Yeah.
appreciate their business strategies.
But I don't have a Switch. I want a Switch, but I also know if I
See?
buy a Switch, I have to buy all the games.
Yeah.
I just bought a PlayStation 4. I'm barely catching up on the
That's my
games.
problem. It's like I want all of the consoles because I like all of the games. I feel like I'm a member of all of these companies' audiences, and it took
That's what I had to
I've
do.
had my Halo 5 Xbox since the day one, and it is so close to dead that it couldn't run PUBG. And so my family bought me, and I would die because I'd be sitting there waiting for buildings to load, and my brother would be like, had looted all of the buildings in the compound already.
It's like to our south, to our I'm
So
dead.
bad. But
Although-
so they bought me an Xbox One X, and then I'm like, that is so much money, and then
You have an X?
I have an
Oh,
X.
they're
This
so
is beautiful.
On that
though.
note, though, game consoles these days are actually, in some regards, less expensive
that is
than they
true.
were even back in
well,
the Sega Genesis days. You know,
Yeah.
there were consoles back then. I couldn't say which one specifically, but there were consoles. I think it was like the Sega CDI or something
Yeah.
like that. Was like $750 for the console. You know,
blows
like
my mind.
because it was the first console that played discs. It
Yeah.
was like the hot new
Yeah.
thing before the PlayStation came out. And
I
like,
don't know. When I was a kid, my parents bought me one of those, like, you know those little joysticks that you'd plug into your...
Yes!
Yeah.
Yes! And it came
I
with
had
like
a
6
Sonic.
games.
Yeah, I had a Sonic
You had like the Sega
joystick.
Sonic one?
Yeah.
Yes! I had the SpongeBob one. I still have one actually. It's so good.
Nintendo 64, my
Oh,
friends.
those.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. Whenever I get a paycheck, I'm like, okay, I can buy one video game. So if I know a console's coming out like 3 years in advance, I'm like,
it's
I'm
for
like,
me.
yeah,
It's
I can-
usually like once every other
Did you
month.
just say, like, one game a paycheck?
yeah, but
Are you rich?
He can budget how he
What
wants.
like a full price AAA game, you can buy a $60 game. I wish I was
Well,
here.
here's
Are you that poor, Kimmy?
I'm
Well,
not that
here's
poor.
the
I just
thing.
have more responsibilities.
Well, eating at part of
You also get
my
free
job
food.
is I get free food, so I don't have to buy myself.
I
any
mean,
kind
Gavin,
of
I
dinner.
could do the same thing too, but here's the problem: is I already have 4 RPGs
But
games
exactly.
alone that I
That's true.
haven't even touched
Yeah,
for
exactly.
Christmas.
That's what I'm saying.
And I'm
is
like,
I could.
a
I can get the
two-player.
games. I'm not gonna play them.
Yeah,
ever
I still
again,
have.
though.
I still have. What did I buy recently?
Kingdom Hearts 3.
Oh, Monster Hunter. Have not touched it yet.
I have
Right?
it.
I
love
want to play it, but I'm like,
I have it.
I have all these new games, and then Apex drops out of nowhere. Like,
That it is the one of the many first world problems we face in today's gaming economy. Is it is
Really?
impossible to not have like a backlog of games. It's
Yeah.
been, I have not been caught up on my backlog of games in almost 3
Oh
years.
no.
Like
Yeah.
I have like this log of games, and it's like I'll finish one and be like, okay, now I have this game, and like I will buy new games when they come out. For example, I just bought Metro Exodus, right?
oh, brilliant.
And brilliant game. I played it for maybe 5 or 6 hours, and then I was like, you know what? I'm gonna hold off because I still haven't finished
Oh my
Assassin's
God.
Creed Odyssey.
Oh
So
no,
then I
dude,
started-
no, no! I
It's
started
wrong.
Assassin's Creed Odyssey over winter break, and I haven't even. I got
Exactly.
First Island, and I was like, oh,
it's
this
just
is
it's just this cycle that never ends, and it's like the best kind of sucky.
I've been trying to
It
get through
sucks.
Let's Go
Can I
Pikachu
tell my-
since
Sucks
since
in the
break.
best possible
Can
way.
I tell my favorite
Tell
game
your
completion
favorite
story?
game completion story.
First
Max.
game console ever got. GameCube. Metroid Prime. Been playing it all my life.
Mhm.
Never finished the game until second year of college. I beat it, and I was like, I finished a game! I finished a game!
All right.
Funny that we're
It's the
talking
best
about
thing to get off my
gaming.
backlog.
Random question though on the GameCube topic. Have you ever played a game on the GameCube called Monster Island?
Yes.
No, but I
yes.
heard
That game was
That
so
game
good.
Was so fun.
It was so stupid.
It was.
But it
I was gonna say it's
freaking
like one of the
awesome.
dumbest games. My buddy lent it to me. He was like, "You gotta totally try Monster or whatever." And I was like,
Monster Island.
Monster
you like
Island's
make
like,
your own
yeah, you
monster
make your
and just
own
do
monster.
the dumbest freaking mini games.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was
Oh
so
man,
dumb.
we've got to find a copy of that and freaking play it.
Here's the
for-
thing.
for, like, a
Speaking of
Geek play
indie
or
gaming, I was
Heck yeah, I'm
like,
down.
I never beat Pikmin. And I think about it now. I was like, that's a hard ass game to beat.
Huh?
But,
Mhm.
yeah, but now I'm like, I feel ready for it. I mean, I thought that in high school and I retried it, could not beat it. But now I'm like, wise.
I've never played GameCube. I mean, I've played GameCube. I just have never owned one.
That's
so
okay, okay. Have you played Pikmin?
No.
Oh my! And you get a Switch? Is it on the Switch
Yeah,
anywhere?
Switch.
Yeah, it is.
Please give me.
Why?
Because it's
It
one of
is
the,
a really
it is
good game.
literally one of
They're
the best
really good
games,
games.
and the soundtrack, so good.
I don't know.
Alright.
Also, Katamari Damacy.
All right, I think we're
Anyways.
moving
Oh.
on.
I think you're on, my friend.
So, what I'm bringing to the table is not a game. It's actually an interesting thing I stumbled upon. I got in the spooky mood these last couple months, and I discovered that sci-fi made shows based off of creepypastas.
Okay.
And I was like, okay, I liked creepypastas, and I discovered the first season was Candle Cove, and I picked it up. It was really good.
I
was
love
really
that
good.
creepypasta.
Good.
Wait,
What's
This whole thing is. Well, let me explain this whole thing, just a base
I'm
thing.
sorry.
The series is called Channel Zero, and each season is 6 episodes of based on the creepypastas. So they have Candle Cove season 1, No End House season 2,
so
and so on and so on. The first episode of each one basically condenses the creepypasta, and then the rest 5 are their narrative take on what happens after the creepypasta.
the entire season is the creepypasta.
Yeah.
That is
What
so
is
cool.
creepypasta?
Oh my
Oh,
gosh.
I actually
Kitty.
had this question
Oh.
asked to me
Oh
earlier.
my gosh.
Sorry.
Creepypastas it's like a forum now, right?
It derived from
Horror
the
stories
term,
for our era.
It derived from the term copy
Okay.
pasta. Well, okay. We got to go back a little even more than that. It derived from the term copy paste. So essentially, people would there were forums where People would like post scary stories and stuff, and people just started like spreading these stories across the internet. And all of a sudden, they essentially became digital urban legends because they had reached so many people.
Okay.
And then for some reason, it went from the term copy paste to copy pasta. And since they were scary stories, it then went from copy pasta to creepy pasta. So that's literally the story behind it.
They're pretty fun, spooky stories. There's a lot about game consoles and game cartridges that are haunted that are really well done. But that's basically what they are.
It's just essentially urban legends from the internet.
Yeah.
Isn't there a YouTube channel called Creepypasta that like basically
Probably.
covers
All he does is literally reads them word for word.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's all he does.
Yeah.
He
He makes an audiobook of them.
Yeah, the thing that he'll do is he has like this weird picture in the background, so then you're scared the whole time. Like when I was 12, that's what I was doing.
Yeah, no, like the show we watched so it's Candle Cove, No End House, we're watching Butcher Block now, and then it goes to The Dream Door for season 4, and that's free on Xfinity right now.
So can you get it on like Hulu or anything like that?
If you have Amazon Prime or access to something that can get, or you can just go straight to Shudder, which is an online streaming service purely for horror fans. Yeah, I went through Amazon Prime Video, and from there they give you access to subscribe to different channels, and one of them is Shudder, which is a horror subscription where they have all these old and like homemade horror movies, and then Candle Cove, or more specifically Channel Zero, and we watched them, and they're really well done. They're really well done, and they're very scary, except for Dream Door. Dream Door was kind of funky, but it was fun nonetheless.
Candle Cove is like one of my favorite creepypastas.
Dude, Candle Cove was a great creepypasta, and they did a very good job.
Because it reminds me of like when I was a kid. Have either of you heard that? You probably haven't heard of it. Have you heard of the Candle Cove creepypasta?
Yes.
Okay.
Like I saw the Creepypasta YouTube channel.
It's
for Timmy's summarization, it's
this is
old
your
kids show. People, it's told like a forum post, so it's like, does anyone remember this show called Candle Cove? It was a really creepy show where like this one guy was supposed to be like a skeleton with the skin of kids on them, and then like they had the main characters like this other kid and also their weird stuff, and like it was really weird. And then that last episode they just screamed at the TV, and then the last post is, guys, I went to visit my mom in the hospital, and I asked her about the show, and she said, I wondered why you made that show up. You just stared at the TV for hours on end at static.
Creepy.
Yeah.
And that's it's supposed to be like inspired, like remember those old creepy shows as kids?
This part where like there's this guy, he's like the main guy, and he's like, hey kids, and he comes out and everyone's like, yeah, like having fun, and then he just like peels his face off, and he's just like a skeleton underneath. And and it was like, the reason I liked it so much is because it reminds me of like when I was a kid, and I remember, like I couldn't say specifics, but I remember seeing like some really, really weird and like disturbing things on TV that I like I've tried like recounting like what I can remember of them, and people are like, dude, I don't remember that at all. And so I'm just like, shoot, maybe I'm just like making stuff up in my head. And then this creepypasta comes out, I'm like, oh my gosh, maybe I'm not alone in this world.
Interesting.
But yeah, that's what I want to bring to the table is a suggestion. Like if you're into horror or can handle horror, check it out. I think it's worth check out.
So quick question. So you said it's on Amazon Prime? Or is it Amazon Prime through Shudder?
Amazon Prime, it goes through Amazon Prime. You can get a 30-month free trial on Shudder, and then it's $5 a month.
Okay.
For Shudder through Amazon Prime.
Because I have Amazon Prime, and I'm really wanting to see this.
Dude, it's worth it in my opinion. It's
really
very much
good.
worth it because you could also binge these. They're an hour long each, 45 minutes, and they're only 6 episodes each.
So
within 30 days, you could easily just spend a week and spam them.
It reminds me a lot of the Marble Hornets series on YouTube. Have any of you seen that?
I've heard of that.
It was a series that they started back when the Slender Man thing was like a huge thing around the world. Yeah. Everyone was talking about it, so they made like this it was just like this series of short videos like about this group of college students or like college graduates or whatever that was like trying to make a film, and like they start getting stalked by Slender Man. It was really good, but that's kind of what it reminds me of. It's just like one of these. No, is it like a found footage style, or is it like it's like
a show. It's like a show, but it's just so well done. I don't understand. I mean, I say that, and I always have to preface the last season 4, Dream Door, gets weird but fun weird. Like it's a horror that you can laugh along with. Because it gets real ridiculous. Or... No. It's still violent. Also, another thing with these shows, you need to be ready for gore because they show. Like and it's just
gore, or...
Oh my
gosh. No. Like Game of Thrones gore.
What's good about that concept as well is that they literally have like an endless repertoire of things to make the show based off of.
I think they're coming up with season 5 because season 4 released last year, and I think season 5 is coming because I saw an article just randomly how Sci-Fi bought the rights to use the banana splits in a horror movie that they're making. And the Banana Splits is an old kids TV show with giant animal things. And the first thing I thought of was the creepypasta called The M Show, where kids get abducted by the people pretending to be the animals from that show.
Interesting. This sounds
Possibly season 5?
way too creepy for me.
I don't know if you can handle this. I barely handle them.
We need a season based off of the expressionless creepypasta.
Oh God, I would not be able to
survive. That one is spoopy.
I just remembered it and I was like, I shuddered, dude.
I don't think spoopy is the word you wanted.
It is extra spoops.
Totes spoops, bro.
All right.
You brought to the table, Broken.
Bringing it back in a little bit, I would like to talk about Anthem. Now, I'm not even going to talk about microtransactions. I'm not going to do that. We've already been there. We've already hashed that out. We've already been at each other's throats. If I had a knife, I don't know. Somebody could have gotten hurt. But Anthem, just
it looks so
Anthem.
great. Is it not great?
There's a lot wrong with Anthem, and a lot of it helps to explain a lot of the problems that we have in modern, current AAA gaming.
I want to see where you go with that one, because that's the part I'm not sure about.
And obviously it is highly debatable, and I will not deny that, but I mean, and there are people, if you love the game, if you love Anthem, like, all power to you. Like, I'm not saying it's a bad game, like, I've seen the gameplay, I've seen people playing it, and, like, the movement is really fluid.
Did it come out today?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's what I thought.
It reminds me of, I can never remember the name of the game, but there was a game on the Xbox 360 where you played as that guy with the jetpack. And it wasn't a very common game. It wasn't a very well-known game. But honestly, it was hands down. It wasn't Crackdown. I'll try to look it up, and when I find out what it is, we'll...
Because you did almost describe every single game.
I know.
That was the jetpack era.
But it was like the most fluid jetpack movement I've ever experienced in a game. And it was like a very repetitive game, but that movement is what kept bringing me back. Like, it was just so fun to just, like, jump and jetpack and just, like, cruise around. It was so cool. I'll find out what it is, and we'll just, like, post it on the side of the screen or something when I figure it out. But, and so I gotta give Anthem that. It is a beautiful game. The game is phenomenal. Graphically, it's amazing.
It looks cool enough that I'm like, I would pick that up, but I'm concerned. I've heard things where it's like, it has good ideas, but it doesn't follow through with them, and it's bad execution.
Abysmal. It is just so repetitive and grindy and just uninspired. Every single mission in the game, from everything I've seen, every review I've heard, everything, and no, I have to admit up front, I have not actually physically played the game myself. So I do have to admit that up front. But I have done extensive research on this game, and I have watched hours worth of gameplay in this game. Every single mission boils down to you have to go find a thing, you find that thing and protect that thing, or you have to go find a thing. Once you find that thing, you take it to another thing, and once you get to that, you kill things on the way, and you get it to that other thing, and you're done. And it's fetch missions and protect missions, and that's it. And even then, none of it is really inspired. It's like, oh, here's this obelisk surrounded by beasts, and you just fend off the beasts. And then a prime example, somebody was doing a review, and there was like, it was like one of the, I don't know if it was like a raid mission, it was just like a really hard mission, where you go through and you get to one part in this cave where you have to fight like a big, massive like beast enemy, right? And they killed the enemy, and they're like, okay, that was cool. They go a little further in the cave, another boss fight. It's 2 of the exact same enemy. It's just 2 of them. So they kill those 2, and they're like, okay, that was kind of lame. They go to the final boss in this cave. It's 3 of the exact same enemy.
Are you serious?
I'm not kidding you. And it's just like,
I mean, from what the open beta happened, it sounds like they rushed it because in the open beta, when it launched, PC players, there was a bug inside the beta where it would cause an infinite loop and crash the hard drives of your computer.
Yeah.
Virtually destroying a computer. And it was like, oh, you just released a virus as an open beta that I paid for. Cool. So, like, it just sounds rushed, and that's such a shame. A lot of people akin it to, or pair it to Destiny, specifically Destiny 2, where launch it's like, all right, but there isn't really anything new or interesting there.
Yeah.
And then they do the expansion of when the guy gets killed or something like that in Taken King, and then it happens then.
My friend.
I said the guy.
Yeah, and
They beat the enemy, Kimmy.
trailer is there.
Heroes win the day. Spoiled all cinema for you. But like, so people are saying this is how this feels like. It's like, okay, it's bare bones right now, and then we have to wait a year for it to get good.
Sucks.
And then you also have to pay for it to get good.
That's the thing. It suffers from what I personally call the Destiny syndrome, like times 10, where it's kind of a grind to get through just the story, and then once you get to the end game, there's like nothing there. It's like,
You did
okay, I guess we roam around in free play in this massive open map and just kill random things and hope to get slightly better stuff than I already have.
And then drop it
Cool.
for
Or I could go and pay a bunch of money to change the color of my mech suit. That's it. That's your end game right there.
I want to pose this question to you. I've never played World of Warcraft.
Okay.
But these games try to be like sci-fi World of Warcraft. How does the end game World of Warcraft work, or is there even a storyline? Where does World of Warcraft succeed where these fail? Is what I'm asking.
So the difference with World of Warcraft, it's all about character building. So it's all about really it has those RPG elements. And again, this is all my personal 2 cents. If anyone else has a different opinion, throw in. This is speculation. But I mean, I played a fair amount of World of Warcraft back in the day in high school, and like that was the big thing. And it, to me, at least, and to like everyone I knew that was playing it, it was about like your character. You know, like I was like the monk in the group, or you know, I was like the warlock in the group, and it was all about like making sure I had the right gear and the right weapons and stuff to really fit the skills and the stuff that I had. With these, it's just a looter shooter. So like the weapons and the armor that you get, it may like buff your stats a little bit. Like
But
you
they
have
all feel the
have
same.
a resistance to poison, or you have like slightly more health. But as far as like it doesn't affect your abilities or like. You know, if you play as like the big one, for example, I don't know exactly what abilities you get, but you get like a missile barrage and like a ground slam and maybe one other skill. That's it, the whole game. That's what you have to play with. You don't get to swap those out. You don't get to like mix and match. It's like that's it.
So I guess there's more like World of Warcraft took the time to add enough that it feels like you could actually customize and stem your things where Destiny and Anthem don't.
World of Warcraft was more RPG. It was more role playing. Whereas Anthem is more just here's getting
the story.
It's just a treasure hunt is what it really is.
I feel like a lot of RPGs and even MMO RPGs have that problem.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
where,
absolutely.
You know, where you like they disguise these quests that are really just go fetch this, go kill a bunch of these and come
That's
back.
how I felt about Fallout 4.
Oh, you want to know something?
everybody felt
You
that
want to
way.
know something really funny? While we're on that note, though, and this is to make it to the last mission of the game, to beat the game, you have to. There are 4 tombs that you have to unlock. Now, to open those tombs, you have to complete like a list of like 6 different things just to open one tomb. And that list of things, you'd think it's like, go kill this crazy... No, it's like, revive 3 people, open 15 chests.
They're challenges.
It's like...
Oh my...
They're just challenges.
Yeah, it's like, kill 6 enemies...
Really?
Like, with this power,
Why
like
can't
this
we
ability.
make a story-driven game?
And-
Like, that game would be perfect as a
and
story-driven
it
world
would.
game.
And that's kind of the point I wanted to bring up was, that is such a cool world.
Right.
You know, if they had expanded on that world and the characters, it would have been amazing. But there are no memorable characters at all. Like, you don't remember any of those
It's just
characters.
flat. It's just flat generic shooter.
So
Honestly, it just the
it
way
is,
the
that
way
is.
I remembered from the commercials, like so they got the yellow guy, the red guy, and the blue guy, And that's all I remember.
How'd you forget about the Ninja 3 guy?
the Ninja 3?
The Ninja Green guy.
And
He
it
looks
was
Was there a
like...
fourth?
Yeah, it's
Oh.
basically like, this is our take on Genji.
But see, dude, that's,
It feels
that's
like
the
it.
thing is that everything just felt so boring to me. Just from like watching it, I was like, wow.
See, I remember the game being super colorful and introducing like this beautiful, expansive world,
Yeah.
and then this very small glimpse into
Into the-
meeting some person and a woman and a dude behind this wall, and that
If
was
you've
it.
if you've seen
The Anthem.
if you've seen
Yeah.
any of the trailers that have
Yeah.
any of the characters from the game in it, you've seen all the main characters in the game.
That's
Yeah.
so.
If you go to like the social hub where like everybody hangs out and like prepares to go out with their friends and everything, it literally there's not even music. It is so dead.
That's so
There's like
weird.
a little hint, like a faint hint of like
Wow.
white noise chatter in the background. No music, anything. You just wander around aimlessly. There's no other like players in the hub. You just wander around looking at like people pretending to talk to each other and
That's so
That's
so
bad.
like yeah. It's
What
just
is wrong with the
and the
game
whole
industry
world-
right now?
the whole world. There's no varying landscapes. It's all just like
Ooh.
jungle.
See, that's okay. That's what I saw when I saw the trailer. I was like, I hope there's something else besides like immense jungle.
Yeah.
I hope there's
'Cause
like
when
a
they-
desolate
yeah, when-
rockscape or like a
when
desert at least, or
when they showed
snow.
the part where the guy went underneath the water, and I saw
That
like
was
a brief.
so cool.
That was so brilliant.
It is cool.
And then
yeah.
I found out that
There's no
like,
underwater
There's
combat.
no underwater anything, and I was
Mm-mm.
like, what? But you have this really cool like
Yep.
mechanic. Why would you not explore that?
I want to let's go around the table. I want an idea of what would make the game better. Out of curiosity, because like I understand people don't like this game and that stuff, but the one thing I hate about this kind of stuff is people rag on a game where I'm like, okay, let's not complain about the problem, let's solve it, because clearly the industry doesn't want to do that. So how would we make Anthem better? It's flat, and the RPG elements don't have enough depth that it doesn't feel good enough, and the missions are just the same, and they don't even do a good job at hiding those.
This
that-
is
the
not going to be
similarities.
like the most popular opinion in the world, but as far as looter shooters go, look at Borderlands. That's, in my opinion, hands down the best looter shooter that has ever been made.
I'm trying to comprehend how you think that's an unpopular opinion, because I think that's a great idea.
It
for
had
this.
it's some people they really like the whole multiplayer aspect more than like the story, but that game had an emphasis on story, right? So it actually had a good narrative with characters that have like are some of the most memorable characters in video game history. I might add.
Yeah.
Try to beat frickin' Tiny Tina or Mr. Torg. I dare you.
Claptrap.
I challenge
Stallone,
you.
Claptrap.
Claptrap. Like just the most iconic set of characters that you'll ever see. Drop in, drop out, co-op. So like if you're just playing by yourself, like that's totally fine. Like the difficulty adjusts based on how many people you have in your party. So if you have a party of 4 people, you're gonna find a hell of a lot of like badass enemies that are gonna, and that's literally what they're called, is badass enemies that are gonna just like completely demolish you. But you have 4 people to fight back. You know, if you want to play through the whole game by yourself, that's fine. That's fantastic. I've played through the game myself like 3 different times. But if your friend is like, hey, I'm online, they can literally drop in where you are, regardless of where you are or what you're doing. And it's like the enemies are, there's like a huge variety in like enemy types. So like your strategy is constantly mixing up. Like if you want to kill a spider ant, you have to find a way to get behind it so you can shoot it from behind, you know? If you want to kill like one of the crazy psychos, like you're going to have to shoot it in the head before it gets close to you. You're just done for, you know?
So
whereas a game like Anthem, it's just everything is a bullet sponge. It doesn't matter where you shoot it or how you shoot it or what abilities you use. You just put as bullet after bullet. You put thousands of bullets into something. That's how you kill it. You just shoot.
So more emphasis on the player experience alone and not the multiplayer. Multiplayer taking the bonus, like multiplayer not being the focus, but the support of the game for those who have friends that want to play along.
Absolutely.
More variety on enemies, more variety on the environment, and then just more variety on how the missions go.
Not even. I wouldn't even go as far as saying to make it like a single player based game. Like make it a multiplayer based game that can still be played entirely by yourself.
Like here's
and
the
you
thing.
can enjoy doing so.
I think you could argue that's what Borderlands is too, because I wouldn't say Borderlands is a single player game. I think it's a 1 to 4 player game, no matter what. So if they just like did that, I think the problem is they're focusing too much on the multiplayer aspect where that's the core of it. It's like that should never be the core unless it's a competitive multiplayer. Exactly.
Destiny suffered from a lot of the same things.
Yeah, exactly, and that's the thing. They're
I'm
the
just
same
gonna
thing.
rag on Destiny
I'm
because
sorry,
I have
guys.
never
I
been
know.
so excited about a game
I like
as
Destiny.
Destiny.
I enjoy
Because
Destiny.
I love
still play
Bungie,
Destiny.
and then it hurt.
I like Destiny.
It hurt so
I
much.
played Destiny 2 with my siblings a
I know.
lot, and I enjoy it.
It's fun,
And that's
And-
fun.
but but as like a mass
It's also got some
kind of
problems.
game, it's like it just has some problems with
I
it.
mean,
And I feel like those could be solved if they just took a step back, evaluated what the game is, and then took the time to do it.
I can't. The biggest argument I have about these kinds of problems is that I think the game industry is becoming too corporate.
Absolutely it is.
Really,
Why
really
do you think PUBG became so massive?
It's
That's because
games
it was indie.
are being made.
Yeah, indie.
I dare say games are no longer being made for the gamer.
Yeah.
They are being made for the investors.
Yeah.
And the shareholders.
Just like you look at the companies and like the developers are so far away from the people that actually get to make the decisions. You know, and so it's just become this like, oh, you go to work, you model this bottle, and you go home, or you go to work, you build this thing, and you know, and you're not making the game anymore. And this industry was built by people who were inspired to make these works of art.
100% agree.
And so,
100%.
I think
I
so.
don't
Like
know.
the problem is like we live in a capitalist society, so they still need to make a
yeah.
profit. I think what's happened is the company's grown too much. Like
Yeah,
that divide. There's
exactly.
too many people there. We need to have more studios and less big corporations
Yeah.
Well,
with a more
I mean,
variety.
plus, I think it depends on the games.
Or
Like,
even-
I'm not trying to, inspire you guys to play Fortnite. But one thing that I can say Fortnite did incredibly well was it listened to its audience and it adjusted the game, and then the game became brilliant. I will argue now they've listened to the crowd too much because you have a bunch of 12-year-olds screaming, and now it's full of planes and all this other junk that I was not enjoying.
I would say the problem started when online gaming started to become really big. Because if you think about it, back in early 2000s, if you were just playing like a single player game, if they were like, hey, you can pay $20 for this cool skin for your gun, no chance in hell like anybody would pay for it. If it was like 2004, there's no chance anybody would pay for it. But now that it's like, well, if I had that, like I could show up, I could look really cool in front of all these other people.
Early gaming.
Yeah.
Let's say we can go even as far back as like N64, 007 games. It was part of the game to get the golden gun.
Absolutely it was. Yeah.
You didn't have to pay for it. You didn't have to. It was like the secret level. It was like the thing that, like, you've played enough to be good when you can get your hands.
And that's
on
the
golden
thing.
gun.
And that's the thing was once online gaming became a thing, they started to realize that like people really like being able to show off their stuff.
Oh yeah.
And we can market that.
I do want to say.
You say that like that's not how
it's
the
IGN.
clothing industry works.
Oh, absolutely it is.
Gavin's talking.
I can't remember if it was IGN, but someone just published an article saying that Twitch killed all narrative games. And basically they're talking about by people being flashy and they're being able to create entertainment, that people are investing more on multiplayer games simply because you're not going to, like, people on Twitch aren't going to watch narrative games. And we know that's what our Twitch is based around, is on multiplayer games. And so they're saying that, if we're creating like this $60 game, we want it to be absolutely brilliant and replayable, and people are going to spend hours on it and talk about it. And they're like, are they going to talk about games that they're going to be playing every day, like a multiplayer match? Or are they going to talk about that one mission that they played?
Oh my gosh!
It's a good
But when I
point.
think about games that you've played in your past, you don't like think back to that one specific match where you were like, oh my god, I got such a great KD on that game. Like, you do think back to the story-driven games. And you're like, do you remember the first time you played this and you got to that twist? And, that's what you remember.
I remember going back to Borderlands, I remember Claptrap's first mission in number 2, which was just like,
Right?
get 1,000,000 pebbles, go to the end of the universe, kill God, and then find this thing. It was like, all the objectives appear, and you just turn around, open the locker, and there's the thing. It's like, boop, and they all check off, like, completed. And he's like, you killed God? It's just, it's Claptrap.
See?
Saddest
Like,
mission,
those things are more memorable
saddest
than just
mission
that.
in video game history is attending Claptrap's birthday party. and you have to stay there. You can't even leave. It won't let you leave. You try to walk away, and it's like return to the party.
It's just so that game's just so good.
Anyway, to wrap it up, I would say that the absolute perfect online economy could be found in Halo Reach.
Thank you. Yeah, I agree completely.
That, hands down, best online game ever made. Every cosmetic could be unlocked by completing a very specific and attainable challenge within the game. And it wasn't like they weren't making money because they were still releasing new maps and stuff that you could pay like $5 to $10 for.
That game also cost $60 to buy in general.
And I paid for every single one of them. And it was easily the best multiplayer experience besides maybe... No, it was better than Titanfall 2. Titanfall 2 is a close second.
And plus the narrative, the narrative in it, like
and the narrative,
the narrative was phenomenal, and the multiplayer was phenomenal. There was no parallel. There was no like, what is
trade-off.
There's no Call of Duty Black Ops 4 where they trade multiplayer or they trade
story for multiplayer.
All I'm hoping is that now that Bungie has escaped the greedy mitts of Activision, they might be able to go back to their glory days. Anyway.
We'll see.
That's the hope. I don't think gaming is going anywhere anytime soon. What's probably going to happen is we're going to have like a massive gaming crash and a massive cleansing, and then the indie developers will rise. Exactly. So that's going to be it for February of 2019. Thank you for joining us, and hopefully not hating us too much as we all geek out about things that happened this month. And let us know if you enjoyed this format. It's a new format for us. It's something different that we've never tried. Let us know if it's something that you like. Let us know if there's anything you thought that was interesting that happened this month. And let us know if you disagreed or if you agreed with anything that we said. Let us know in the comments. And with that,
Geek out!